We interrupt what you're watching right now to bring you this exciting story.
It's the dust and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the pledge of allegiance on the 4th of July. It's some handwritten letters from home. It's some sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, he's alive. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California. Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. It's the red, white, and blue. Lay down, here's a light. It's the red, white, and blue. 40 stars and stripes. It's the red, white, and blue. Stand on the front line. It's the red, white, and blue. Pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with all he wanted. It's Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down, here's a light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. All these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Stand on this red line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. To pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Lay down, here's a light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. 40 stars and stripes. Marching line, marching line. Hey, hey.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good afternoon. Boy, I tell you what, it is a nice, sunny, warm day. A little humid out there. Nice breeze, but I'm okay with that. Here we are Sunday at 3 o'clock. We Brendan and I had a nice conversation on what we're gonna do during the summer hours because I know the summer time gets a little like, I don't know, tough on time. And we're just kind of debating on moving it to the evenings. That way you can go out and have fun and don't go, oh man, I feel bad. I forgot to watch I forgot to watch Boots on the Ground today, which is no big deal because it's recorded and that's the way it's set up. However, we want you guys to also enjoy our very short summer. So on my Facebook page, I do have a poll up and running if we should keep it at 3 o'clock or move it to 7. If you'd be so kind, type your thoughts into the chat room, and then we'll just kind of factor those in there, and that way we can kind of like adjust a little bit if we have to. Because it's Sunday. It's like, man, there's so much going on, graduation parties and just hanging outside, riding the motorcycles, four-wheelers, just doing all that stuff with the kids. And we get that. And we appreciate you all coming out. We do. And that's why we don't get too excited. We record it. It's all recorded on 7 channels. That way you can do a playback anytime you want, watch us anytime at your convenience. But we also want to do a live show because we really like the rawness of it. It's like there's nothing, the videos we play are pre-recorded, but unfortunately everything else is okay. See, Kim, thanks for coming in here. 7 o'clock. I get that. Gwen, happy Sunday. Yes. Linda Upton, thanks for coming by. We appreciate that. And here we are. A lot of things going on locally, internationally. I mean, you can't turn on any type of news entity and see what's not going on around the world. We're just going to touch bases with a little bit because, there's a lot of moving parts to this. And you got to be careful what the mainstream media is saying and what they're not saying. And that's like Miss AOC. We'll get back to her in a minute. She's been running her mouth pretty good, considering that's all she knows what to do. Bartender to making multi-million-dollars a year. Good gig if you can get it. So yeah, other than that, we got some new ads to throw up here, pictures, just people are like, we're talking about the mayor's race. This is the guy that's the Republican that's running for mayor, Matthew Thomas, mayor. A lot of people don't know who he is. A lot of people don't know what he looks like or who he is or where he's been or what's he's doing. He's got his social media up and running. Very smart guy. He is an attorney. And I think he'd do a good job given the chance to be mayor, but he's up against a tough race in the city of Democrats. However, I truly believe the Republican Party as a whole is on the move. There's boots on the ground. We've moved the voting and registration numbers hugely, and we're going to keep pushing a little bit harder and pushing and pushing, and because the Democrats are absolutely out of their minds. I mean, I really can't. I saw this one little clip art here, and I'll put it up here. Think about this one for just a minute. Just read it. Think about it. I think it says a lot of words. The January 6th insurrectionists were not given their due process. They were thrown in jail without too much of anything and treated like absolute, POWs or worse. But by God, if there's an illegal murderer, a gang member, boy, they got to have their due process. No, they're not U.S. citizens. They do not follow under that law. But U.S. citizens got locked up and treated worse than dogs. People treat their dogs better than those men and women got treated. But yeah, these are just things that are going on everywhere that makes part of the whole package. And of course, we've played this one before. We really have to pay attention to what's going on in the city of Erie. Miss Jasmine, this is what they really think of us. But they're the party of tolerance. And of course, our own Kathy Delcamper, this is what she thinks of the seat that she lost, the gentleman that beat her fair and square. So, there's a whole hit campaign out on Mike, and that's fine, And now she's got Vogel following around, being her little protege. We talked about that's going to be a dangerous street for her to be on. But yeah, these local politics is really, really, really important. Look what the Erie National Enquirer wrote online. Go Erie. They were talking about the 911 center that Brenton Davis let go of the director, John Grappy. He worked there for many years, lots of turmoil, lots of issues. And then all of a sudden he was let go. Well, of course, county council overstepping their bounds, which they do a lot of, are upset that Brenton didn't inform them. They have nothing to do with personnel. Now, they have a finance chair, personnel chair, but that's for the inner workings of council. We don't hire or fire the director of the 911 center. We don't hire or fire the warden. That is done through the administration. They take care of that. That is their privy. Now, when it comes to the union folks, that's a little different. That's still HR. But we don't say, hey, we're going to hire 5 new corrections officers and we see their application. We have no play in this. But here's these Democrats that love to say that they're transparent. No, they want to be in every aspect of everything. And all this is a hit on Brenton Davis. Brenton Davis has the privilege, as being the county executive, duly elected, to let go or hire his administration as he chooses. So former Mayor Joe works up in the office with Brenton. So now all of a sudden, Brenton doesn't want Joe to work there anymore. He has to get county council's approval. No, it doesn't. But these Democrats want to make Davis the bad guy every single chance they can get. Well, he didn't clarify that with the emergency transition, whatever their little fan. It doesn't matter. It's Brenton Davis's privilege to let these people go or hire. Sometimes that'll come across this our desk on stuff, but we don't hire or fire the administration. We don't. That's not county council's period. Here, the Democrats overstepping their bounds, and of course, Terry, Blood Money Scatella has to chime in on it. Which is he the dumbest chairman I've ever seen in Erie County history? He just doesn't get it. He does not get what he's supposed to be doing. Never has. When he was my vice chair, I had to spoon feed after Mary Rennie quit. I had to spoon feed him. Okay, you have to say this here. Circle this. I had to write down a note for him what to say. So then they made him chairman, of course, because the Democrats controlled the voting, and then they made him chairman again. Boy, I tell you what, they threw a hissy fit when I was chairman. And then I was nominated again. I accepted it, and then I won. Well, that's not fair. We should let people move this around, and other people should try. Why did you? But then they turn around and do the same exact thing. They are nothing but the party of hypocrites, because everything they say or do is exactly what they're doing. It's okay when they do it, but it's not okay when we do it. It's just like Barack Hussein Obama flew almost, over 500 sorties and drone attacks and into Yemen while he was president. Not one word of impeachment was ever uttered, spoken throughout the chambers. But by God, the minute they set these 3 bombs off, AOC, impeachment. That's all they know how to say, and that's all they want to do, is just make Trump's life miserable. And it's not going to, they can go ahead and they can impeach him all they want. It's not going to stick. It's not, because he knows exactly what he's doing. His people know exactly what they're doing. They're allowed to do that. It's in the rules. But the AOC doesn't get it. If you want to ask her how to make a sex on a beach drink, that'd be fine. But to actually understand what the powers of the president are, absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, we got some videos, some new videos, and kind of talking about these things. And it's cool. That's just the way it's going. Brendan, you want to throw a video up?
Hope the leaders of Iran understand at this point that Donald Trump does not bluff, that Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu together mean business. And they have ended Iran's nuclear program, which was the key military objective that America has had for years. And it took Donald Trump to finally do so.
we can't understate what Israel has done in this case, and Israel has shown that there's only so many missiles you can fire into their country, but they were able to sneak in drones for the initial attack that they had against Iran. They took out their top scientists. They've taken out their top generals. In the last 24 hours, they took out Iranian Revolutionary Guard generals, top generals that they had there. They were able to knock out their missile defense system. They opened up the skies. The Israelis controlled the skies, which made tonight's mission that much less dangerous. We saw what they did with Hamas. They took out the top, 7 leaders of Hamas. They took out Nasrallah, who'd been in power for 35 years out of Lebanon. They took out other top Hezbollah leaders as well. Then we had the pager incident. Between dealing with the might and power of the United States, and only the United States could pull off what happened tonight, and coupled with what the Israelis did in the lead up to tonight, I think they'd be very foolish to think that this is worth going any further.
Well, I certainly hope so. Again, as President Trump said, it's up to Iran now to make peace. He offered them many chances. For 2 months, he offered them deals to negotiate and turn over their nuclear weapons programs. They didn't take him seriously. They didn't take Prime Minister Netanyahu seriously. They see now the consequences of that. Decades of great expense and effort to build a nuclear weapons program in deep underground bunkers are now up in smoke. If they want to target Americans in the region or around the world, there are many more targets inside of Iran. So I cannot stress enough what President Trump has said, that they should not retaliate against our troops or American citizens anywhere if they want to continue in power.
Yeah, Senator Cotton, nice guy. I actually got to meet him. He was in Erie on an event for Mr. McCormick on the campaign trail. I got to speak with him. He is a tall guy. I mean, he is really tall and really nice guy, very well spoken. He is just that great kind of guy that's not that classic politician, but he's a good statesman. I mean, he gets the rules, he gets the game. Just a pleasure to talk with. And I tell you, we're putting the show together. We were goofing around, and I saw this clip art. This one just absolutely just. It's not the best quality. Now for my next act, I'll make Democrats defend Iran. And that is the gospel. They are literally flying flags in protest to support Iran. Now, the people of Iran, if you really go online and you look around, I mean, they are excited. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants to die. Well, some of these people do, but that's a whole nother story. But these people are feeling liberated that the regime that has crushed this country for what, 50 some years. I remember as a kid, we had the Shah of Iran, friends with the United States. Women could vote, they could work, they could drive a car. They didn't have to walk around with their husband and their faces covered. They showed us these videos coming out of Iran from, the 50s and 60s. They were modern. They were modern folks driving around, ladies driving around during the day in convertibles with their big 60s hairdo. But then the Muslim folks didn't like that. They wanted to go back to the Quran and really just put women back into the hijabs, cover their faces. They have to walk with their husbands. They are property. Basically, you want a divorce, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, and you're done. There is no sitting down with an attorney and let's make a deal. So there were actually women on TV taking off their hijab, celebrating the fall of this horrendously controlled country that used to be kind of a modern place, and it was a place people didn't mind. You could go visit. It was like, God, it's a really cool place full of history. But then that kind of shifted. They threw out the Shah. The royal family was hunted down. And then that was the end of that. We were really good friends with them. We trained their pilots. We sold them aircraft. We sold them weapons. And that's how it should be. Hi, Kimmy, you're live.
Well, good afternoon. And I'm so glad you brought up the culture of Iran.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, these women wanted to get out from underneath that regime. There will no longer be any bride burning.
Let's
No
hope.
more when your husband dies, you're now an orphan, you own nothing. I mean, there was so much bad stuff that happened there. And Americans who support Iran, as a military mom, I see you carrying one of the flags around, I'm probably going to end up in jail.
I totally get it. I mean, and I get that. A lot of people are saying this is against the government, not the people, and I totally agree with you. But the problem is the people allowed this to happen, so it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I both know, with my son being called up early, that we kind of foresaw this coming.
Yeah, I don't really foresee troops on the ground. I really don't. This is just going to
No,
be.
I don't
It's
see boots on the
Yeah,
ground,
I don't.
but we kind of knew that this attack was coming. And let's remind everybody, Obama gave Iran $1.6 billion of our tax dollars.
In
To, to,
cash, in
yeah,
cash,
tax
pallets of it,
dollars.
pallets of it.
And Hillary Clinton gave them, what was it? She gave them something. I can't remember right now. I'm so mad.
Enriched
And
uranium.
yes, thank you. That we needed here for us for medical equipment.
Yeah, yeah, let's make a deal.
Yeah. And then wonderful President Biden just gave them $13 billion.
Yeah,
13 billion of our tax dollars.
and let off some sanctions. We had a bunch of sanctions against them, and he lifted all that too.
Yeah. So maybe this will show them people over there, Trump don't play.
No, people think he
Peace
bluffs, and he doesn't.
through strength.
Peace through strength. I totally get that.
Peace through strength. Now we got a president. He ain't going to play around. He's got the best cabinet in the world, though. I mean, look at all those people that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi just got for trafficking children. What was it, 439 people?
Yeah, but there's so much big news on, it's going to get shuffled to the back because it's more fun to put AOC on there demanding Trump be impeached.
Which,
Yeah.
come on, girl, go learn your history with Miss Flores. Okay, that's not what the Constitution says. They both need to go take the same history class. The president can do that as long as he wants to. He did not declare war.
No, I get that. And we know that, and they know that, but it's all about anti-Trump, anti-Trump. It's just like Davis, anti-Davis, anti-Davis. This is the only tactic the Democrats have, is just to attack, and just try to browbeat you down and just keep nitpicking at you until they find a little crack, and then they exploit it. That's all they know.
Right.
That's all they've got.
But we know that Davis does his job, and he's not sitting on that fifth floor. Now,
Yeah.
this is a great question to ask you, Brian. Kathy Dahlkemper gave up that job. She lost that election to Davis. What Christine Vogel runs a very good business, and Kathy Dahlkemper is leading the way. Are they actually going to be voting for Vogel to do this job, or is Dahlkemper going to be actually doing her job in the background?
Oh, she's the, just like I always tell people when I work with you, I'm the guy behind the curtain moving the levers, and that's exactly what Kathy's doing. She's just behind because nothing against Miss Vogel. She's not new. She's new to the political world, and Kathy's been around the block a few times, and we get that. So she, as a mentor and showing her the ropes and showing up to veteran events that she's never been to. That, oh, you really should go to this one. Why, Kathy? You've never been to this event other than when you were an account executive. So,
Right.
it is what it is. It's just like, Perry Wood. Well, Davis never comes off the fifth floor. Yeah. Considering he's out there with a skid steer picking up cement blocks after that tornado.
Yeah.
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 No, nothing
So
was
we've
said
got
about
a
that.
lot of fun stuff coming up already, Brian. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Busy for the next 2 months. Next weekend, we have Salute to Veterans at Gibson Park in Northeast at 10 a.m.
There you go.
And then we do. And then the next weekend, hey, everybody, we're looking for walkers. We have the 4th of July party on Friday. Lineup is between 12:30 and 1 at Iroquois High School. So if you want to come out, show your patriotism, show everybody how proud you are to be American. We want you to come out and celebrate with us, walk in the parade. We're looking for donations of bulk candy. And then the next weekend, oh my goodness, we look forward to this every year, is our rollout for veterans.
Oh yeah, and that's a big event. I mean, it starts out Friday night at Harley Davidson, then Saturday is up at Plyler's. I'll be DJing that. We'll have the big flag. The ride will go. We end up at the Erie Sports Park. We have Mean Old Bastards there. They're going to be one of the groups. There's a ton of local bands. I'll have the big flag there again with the American Legion, and they'll do their volley with their rifles. And it's a great time, and it's supporting our veterans.
And at the same time, it's Greek Festival. So I mean, there is nothing that you can't do that you're going to support the candidates. I mean, and that is such a great event. I mean, I went last year with Brian and Brenda, and it was my first time doing the rollout for veterans, and we had an absolute blast the whole weekend.
Just tons of people. If they keep playing their cards right, and they keep on this track that they're on, I mean, I truly believe that they could replace Roar on the Shore. They've got
I do too.
Yeah, they've got the space, they've got the people, they've got the motivation. Dee has took this by the reins and really ran with it. And we want to give, and we need someplace to go. And the city of Erie crushed Roar on the Shore. So I'm not spending a dime in the city. I'll take my bike out there, and I'll spend my money up there and support and Summit. It's nice to see stuff moving out of the city, which, why do you want to go to the city when you have 200 people riding at a movie theater? And they do that with a motorcycle group, it would end up badly.
Well, maybe we need to have a motorcycle group come in and teach the kids some manners.
Yeah, but then you're just picking on
I'm not saying anything violent. I'm just saying, give them a little bit of hands-on experience. But then we have, right after that, the following weekend on Sunday the 20th, we have a great big fun bowling party at 2:00. And, guys, this is my one big giant fundraiser. So, like Brian said, it takes money to win these races. And by helping me win the city of Erie, I can help every single one of you. These little races are what's going to affect you, your taxes, your road repairs, everything. And we have to stop these guys in their tracks. So totally, if you can come to a bowling party, I would really, really appreciate it. Because like Brian said, everybody's complaining about county council now. Well, where were you that election?
Where were you when I was up for re-election and you guys didn't decide to get out and vote? Well, then you get what you get what you pay for. While we're talking, I have your ad up for your bowling.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, and then the following weekend on August 2nd, we're going to have the Dan Rice Parade.
Yep.
And then during that week on the 5th, it's National Night Out. And for those of you who do not know what that is, they have events at every single school, elementary school, all day long. And it ends up at Perry Square. And that's a great event. And then that weekend, Italian Festival.
Yeah. And then I got to put a plug in, say the date for July 26th. That is the 14th Corporal Jared King Memorial Ride at the Carlton F. Post 571 in American Legion Riders. We lost him many years ago overseas. And we do this ride, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. So, all right, I got to wind this up. I want to keep chugging along, but thanks for your call. Thanks for the updates.
Yep.
We'll talk.
And everybody, that will be on our website. Make Erie great again. Thank you, Brian. Brenda, I love you both. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there you go. You got your community calendar all ready to go. Brenda, you got some videos for us?
I'm going to put up a couple pictures real quick first regarding the upcoming protests. This is what I've been able to find online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. You're the keeper of the clicker. Trump just bombed Iran. Oh yeah, and of course, this is going to be the new thing. People are already protesting for July 4th. Don't participate. Yeah, don't celebrate July 4th, the actual No More King Day. But see, that's how they want to skew it. But they're just going to just keep hammering and hammering and hammering against Trump. See, No King's national protest on July 4th. Gee, they pick the United States Army's birthday, Flag Day, and of course Trump's birthday. Don't you think these are not very tactically thought of? So yeah, July 4th, be very, very careful where you're at. These things are going to be popping up all over the place. I'm not going to give them any more cred than they already get. So these are just things that are showing up about the July 4th, no King's Day. And you're right. It was the day we got rid of the kings. So they're actually right half the time, just like a dead clock's right, twice a day.
And they're all from the 50-51 group.
Yeah. And again, it's the same people, same financing, same people that are paying for this. But we want a special thank you to these people for making sure you stimulate the economy by making sure you buy food, all your lumber, all your cardboard, stay in the hotels, your gasoline. Thank you for stimulating the economy, saying you hate us, but you're still helping the economy. Just thinking about that, folks. Whenever you got a video ready.
Gavin Newsom is endangering law enforcement here in California, and what should he be doing if he was protecting them?
Look, I would absolutely say that Gavin Newsom is endangering law enforcement. The law enforcement officials themselves tell me as much. That when they go out, let's say you have a Border Patrol official who needs to go out and arrest somebody, maybe a violent criminal who's also an illegal alien. When that Border Patrol agent goes out to do their job, they said within 15 minutes of them trying to do their job, they have protesters, sometimes violent protesters, who are in their face, obstructing them, preventing them from doing their job, and endangering their lives. Why do they have that? Because those people have been egged on by local officials. Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, by treating this city as a sanctuary city, have basically said that it is open season on federal law enforcement. They have treated Border Patrol and border enforcement as somehow an illegitimate force instead of what they are, which is the American people's law enforcement trying to enforce the American people's laws. So when Gavin Newsom encourages violence and rioting, when he encourages people to get in the face of our great Border Patrol officers, he is absolutely endangering the lives of federal enforcement. He's absolutely endangering the lives of mothers and daughters and fathers and sons who have been sent here to do a simple thing: enforce the law. And thank God they're willing to do it, despite the fact that the local leadership of this community has made it harder on them and has in fact endangered their lives as they go about to do their important work.
Amazing. They'll fight tooth and nail for illegals that crossed into this country illegal, but they won't fight for their own people. And California is trying to pass legislation that basically says that the law enforcement can't cover their faces during arrests. Well, it's funny that the bad guys can cover their faces up when they're getting arrested. And last time I remember, a state law doesn't affect the federal laws and rules governing these federal agents. I can see if they're local county or state police, or there's CHP or LAPD or San Francisco PD, whatever. And speaking of PDs, you got to pay attention to what's going on in New York City right now. There is a gentleman, and I use the term very, very loosely, that's running for mayor. I'm not sure of his nationality, but he is a Muslim. I watched him on an interview discussing, they were talking about defunding the police. Here we come again with the defunding the police in New York City. He said, basically, I wish I would have saved the interview, is that when I'm elected mayor, I'm not going to defund the police. I'm just going to shut it down. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I think cities are required by law, by their charters, or however they get their powers, that they are required to. But this is the campaign that this Muslim guy is running on, that he doesn't like the police. They're big meanies, and he wants the New York City Police Department shut down. Just shut it down. You talk about a purge. Wow, it would be absolutely a nightmare. It'll never happen. It's a campaign bullshit. He's just trying to rally all the haters right now. And let's just pray that this guy doesn't get elected, because you talk about dangerous. Google this guy up. Look at the mayoral. I say that right? Guys that are running for mayor in the city of Erie. city of New York. So yeah, video, please.
Assassin who disguised himself as a cop to shoot down Democrat politicians and their spouses. He killed 2 and seriously injured 2 others. Today, we're finding out he wrote a letter to the FBI claiming he was trained by the U.S. military, quote, off the books, and that Tim Waltz asked him to kill Amy Klobuchar so he could take her Senate seat. Belter's facing state and federal murder charges. Sink or
Now, I'm not a big conspiracy guy. I am not. This thing is playing out to be like a Netflix movie. that Timmy hired this guy to take out somebody so he could run for that job. I don't know if Timmy's that smart, but remember, he's got smart people around him. And I just pray this isn't true. I mean, I really, it from really deep down in my soul, I hope this is not true, because I really hope this is not what our country has turned into, where Democrats are hiring people to unalive other people so they can run for their jobs. Now, other weird things have happened, and I totally get that. However, let's just pray that this is not true. But if it is, I hope they fry him and he gets the chair. Video, please.
Short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before, and we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done, and most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The order we received from our commander-in-chief was focused, it was powerful, and it was clear. We devastated the Iranian nuclear program. But it's worth noting the operation did not target Iranian troops or the Iranian people. For the entirety of his time in office, President Trump has consistently stated for over 10 years that Iran must not get a nuclear weapon. Full stop. Thanks to President Trump's bold and visionary leadership and his commitment to peace through strength, Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated.
And of course, Iran, somebody had posted that they shot down one of our bombers. Okay, I get it. It was shot down, and they showed a picture of it sitting there in the sand, landing gear down. Half of the fuselage was blown away. And of course, they had some Iranian soldiers standing next to it, to where they literally were standing, and they're looking at the top of the wings. Well, first of all, it's hard to land an aircraft that's half gone with the landing gear still down. Second of all, these things are huge. You can't stand next to one of them and have the wingtip at your it's some bad AI and of course propaganda that they're probably putting all over Iranian TV that they shot down one of our stealth bombers, which is not true. So if you see it, it's all AI crap. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, I've seen video games graphics that were better than this propaganda that Iran's trying to say that they shot down one of our stealth bombers. I mean, it's absolutely funny. So yeah, Brendan, go ahead. Play another one.
Had Iran gotten a nuclear weapon, it would have been the modern day equivalent of giving Hitler a nuclear weapon. It would have changed the entire world as we know it. So I think it's a very, very big moment. There is a question, and I think Fox may have reported on this a little bit, as to how much we were able to penetrate the Isfahan facility, because it is in many ways deeper and more difficult to penetrate than Fordow. But that said, this is a very, very big moment. It's a very big moment for the president. It's a very big moment for world peace. It is, I think, worthy of the Nobel Prize if it is successful, as it seems to have been, because it will take away what was probably the greatest threat to world peace from a maniacal regime.
Pakistan recommends President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, they've already talked about this several times. Different countries, different entities have already done it. And I'm telling you, if it actually happens, the Democrat Party's heads will just be popping like popcorn on a Saturday night when you're waiting for a movie. What is this?
That is the guy running for New York mayor.
Oh, okay. I never saw this artwork before. Yeah. So this is the guy that we were discussing about, the that's running for mayor. These are all his points, yeah, defund the police. We want to fund the police. This is a question and answer from him. And
yeah, those are all his tweets.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's the common thread here highlighted in yellow? It's about defunding the police. So here, this guy, I can't even pronounce his name at the top there. All he's running on is defunding the police, which the Democrats tried that tactic a couple of years ago. Didn't work out so well for them. So this guy comes in here thinking, well, we'll just recycle the old horse and pony show of defund the police. Well, it worked before. No, it didn't, because actually there are good, hardworking American patriot Democrats that don't want to live in a city that is lawless and has no police. It's always the criminals that don't want the police. I don't understand. I just could never figure that one out. Most of your cops are A lot of them are all union. They split right down the middle. I swear they do between Republicans and Democrats. I'm not thinking they're going to vote for a guy that's trying to defund them. So to not have your police department backing you is pretty bad mojo. I mean that's bad, bad, bad. This guy, I hope the people of New York City are smarter than putting this guy into office. He's just, he's from I don't Brendan, if you could Google up where he's from. I don't even know what country he's from. He's imported, and he's just trying to play that card with all the immigration and all that shenanigans and all that noise that the left is making. It doesn't matter because Trump's still polling very well on the handling of immigration. And that's the key that got him elected. But the Democrats want to die on this hill on immigration. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not a political science major or a great tactician. That makes no sense to the layman people like you and I that are the voters. Makes no sense to keep drilling down on an issue that lost the presidential race. The border. How many times have we discussed the border? I can't even discuss the border anymore because they're building it every day. I go online, look at the new videos. It's like oasis of nothing, though. Nothing. No people, no NGOs, nobody out there handing water out, no piles of food for these people because they're not coming. They got the message. And now the president of Mexico has shut her southern border down because all these illegals are still coming north thinking they're going to get into the United States. And they're like, you can't get in there. You're done. So she has shut the border down because guess why? Guess why? Guess why she should? We can't afford you. Oh, it was all fun and games when you were shipping them up here for us to take care of them. Now that you have to take care of them. Oh, no, too expensive. We don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, I thought that was it. I was watching that video that she shut the border down south of Mexico. It was absolutely hilarious. I had it on the deck, but it didn't make the cut because we can only do so many videos. We try to keep it. We're not trying to do a really, really long show. It's nice. Go outside. I know it's hot. If you're going to go outside, do anything, drink plenty of water. I was supposed to put a garage door opener, but it's like 1 billion degrees in my garage, and I'm not doing that today. What do you got here? Israel Prime Minister. Go ahead and play that.
He's from Kampala, Uganda.
He's from where? Uganda?
Correct.
Where the hell's Uganda? I don't even know what's that. Is it in Africa?
I think so.
I don't know. Anybody know where Uganda is? I think it's in Africa. Anybody smart geographic? Where's Harrison when you need him? He's a smart guy that knows all those crazy little answers. I would go with, yeah. Are you ticking and looking? Well, I bet you it's yeah. Go ahead and play the Israel Prime Minister clip, please.
Yes, it is in Africa.
Okay, Uganda's from Africa. Okay, everybody, we're gonna have a test at the end of the show on geographics. So make sure you study up. No, I'm kidding.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you. The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
Well, there you go. At least he's grateful enough to say thank you. How many things have we done around the world? We have answered calls for earthquakes, tsunamis, humanitarian aid, and just billions of dollars and thousands of people of assets and aircraft and helicopters. And we rescue people off the top of buildings. And we do all this just great stuff because we're great people that are a team and love a challenge. How many people actually say, thank you? Now, here's the prime minister going, thank you. You're welcome. How simple is a thank you for the money? 3 of those bombers, that is no cheap date. 3 of them. And the crew and the actual bombs that they sent over there. Not a cheap date. But I get it. But at least he is a humble statesman that says, thank you. And thank you from me and the people of Israel. How many times have I seen an African leader say, thank you for coming and saving thousands of people because of a drought or a famine or a disease or whatever? I don't ever see them say thank you. At least this guy says thank you. You're welcome. At least when we pay our taxes and the money goes, we're like, well, at least they appreciate our help, not just like they deserve it. We have to. They demand it to the United States. You're responsible. You're the police department of the world. No, we're not the police department of the world, and we're going to stop that. And as the money from all these NGOs start shriveling up, we are not financing the rest of the world. And look at there was a story I read. I should have clipped it. That how the Democrat Party is running out of money because guess who got caught pushing money from this NGO and this nonprofit and this profit and circle back around through this company, through that shell, this nonprofit, going to the Democrat Party. Your tax dollars. It's done. And now the Democrats are absolutely losing their minds because they're losing their money. And I see they have a new chairman. They threw out the little white kid. The little white privileged white boy wasn't good enough. He had to get kicked out. Gino Montagna, no US aid. Thank you. Hey, thanks for coming in today, man. I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, don't get me all fired up, man. I'm telling you. But no, this is why we do these shows, just so we bring all this information in one spot. It's recorded. It sits out there. You watch it at your leisure on a nice hot day. Let's see. X. Say hi to everybody on X today. Man, you guys are winning today. I appreciate that. The folks from X are winning. If you're on X, just come in the chat room and say hi and say where you're from. You don't have to give me your address. Say, hey, we're from Mercer or we're from Reading or whatever. We appreciate that because, we want to see where our wings have spread and all the efforts that we have done to make this show a humble little meeting place of people to come together, and we can sit in the chat room and talk. You can take phone calls if you want. And express your opinion via text, which is really odd because Gino, he always calls that. See, I must be an Italian thing because Gino calls an Italian show he's always throwing those Italian words at each other. They all talk in that language. I'm a mutt from Ireland and Europe, so I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, Hodge is out. I know. Thank God he wasn't white. He didn't check enough boxes. He was too white. Swear to God, I watched the video. They were going through the process of electing a chairman. You have to literally have boxes checked before you're considered. I mean, wow. We had a black lady do a rap to try to get that position. And little Hodges didn't get that. He was elected, then they threw him out because he got caught with his hand in his cookie jar. If you really Google that story up, he was the big guy, and he got some money, and looks like he was playing a little fast and loose with the Democrats' monies. Brenda, boom, Boom.
Does the president need permission from Congress for military action like this?
Under the Constitution, only Congress can declare war, but the president's actions tonight are far from unprecedented.
So to recap what we know so far, the U.S. military carrying out precision strikes at 3 key nuclear facilities in Iran. This comes 2 days after President Trump had set a 2-week deadline to decide whether the U.S. would join Israel in its efforts to eradicate Iran's nuclear capabilities. In an address to the nation tonight, the president described the strikes as a spectacular military success, although we won't know for some time exactly how successful it was beneath that mountain in Iran. He's now calling on Iran to make peace, threatening future attacks if they do not. ABC News has confirmed B-2 stealth bombers and other U.S. warplanes were used in this attack. B-2 bombers are the only planes capable of carrying the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs capable of penetrating Iran's underground nuclear enrichment facilities.
Riddle me this. Obama launched 563 drone strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia without a single declaration of war. Not a peep from the left. No protest, no media outrage, no war criminal chants. The hypocrisy is louder than the bombs.
The Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
Bum 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 around. 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 Our country's got feeling, really hit the ceiling. Bum around. Bum 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 around. Wait to a mosque. Now throw some rocks. Tell the Ayatollah gonna put you in a box. Bum around. Bum 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 around. Bum 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 around. Our country's got a feeling, really hit the ceiling. Bum around. Bum 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 around. Old Uncle Sam's getting pretty hot. Time to turn Iran into a parking lot. Bum around. Bum 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 around. Bum 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 around. Our country's got a feeling, really hit the ceiling. Bum around. Bum bum.
Oh, Brenda really kind of shocked me on that one. And she's like, "Hey, I got this video here. I want you to watch." And she kind of put I should have put a disclaimer on the very, very scary section with Hillary Clinton. I apologize. I should have put a disclaimer across the screen. Caution, this might scare conservatives. Please be advised. Scary scene coming up, and it was Hillary Clinton. But isn't it funny? And the one guy was talking about how many sorties and how many airstrikes that Barack Hussein Obama did during his tenure, and nobody blinks an eye. But here, Trump keeps a promise, and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we need to have him impeached immediately. The hypocrisy of the Democrat Party is disgusting, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse because they're getting more and more desperate. They are grasping at every straw they can get their hands on to try to bring down Trump. And this is why we have to be super, super diligent on the midterms. We really do. And we have to really start thinking on the next play is who's going to take out Josh Shapiro. I mean, Josh has done some pretty okay things, but I'm telling you, what he did to us as the attorney general and locked us down, and Erie County lost almost 40% of their small businesses because of Josh Shapiro, because he was the hired gun of Governor Wolf that arrested nuns for having church. Freedom of religion. I read that somewhere in this kind of really cool document called the Constitution. And he just, I'm the attorney general. I'm short. I don't care. I'm going to puff my chest up, and I'm going to make sure that I get in position for governor. And you people bought into it. It makes no sense to me. You guys and gals, we all pissed and we moaned and we grumbled about the illegal lockdown. Our local state reps kept our feet in the fire on this stuff. And what did we do? We turned around and reelected all three of these knuckleheads here in Erie County. All three of them. All three of them with their illegal lockdowns. There was not one law passed instituting lockdowns. It was just their way of controlling us. And double shame for all of us for allowing it to happen. And to let the henchman, the enforcer, the guy who wrote and allowed the law enforcement to go do their jobs and lock people up. This guy has got to go. And then, of course, you know, what's good for Hillary is good for Josh. I lost those emails. Yeah, those emails are gone. They're lost. They got deleted. Yeah, it was a virus. It was a bug. They're all dirty and corrupt, and he needs to go. Some of his economic stuff, I get it. He did a decent job at it, but he's a schmuck that kept us locked down and ruined our economy. We're still trying to recover from that illegal lockdown and losing almost 40%. These aren't my numbers because, you know, like the Erie City Council clowns accused us for skewing our numbers. No, the smart people up on the hill at Penn State Barron, 40% of our local businesses failed. Gino, company owns a company, and I bet you they were hanging on by their fingernails. I bet you guys were. You guys were sweating bullets during that lockdown because you guys' hands were tired. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, Gino, 2 weeks to curb the spread. This is a virus, unvaccinated. Oh yeah, I didn't forget. Oh, I know you didn't, my friend, and I get that. I know. I remember you would call the Joe Natale show all the time and just pound on him about this. And oh, it's good to wear your mask and let's all get our vaccinations because we're going to stop this. No, we got played, people, and it was so funny. I told the story. I got to find the photograph. You know, I was asked to deliver masks because everybody was scared to go out. Everyone was scared to go out. I'm not scared to go out. It's outside. These masks were so dumb. I made a mask for my truck, for the Hummer. I made one. Brenda, she's a whiz with a sewing machine. We sewed and made a big mask out of an old blanket and some cord that you would hang your clothes on. People would stop me. Oh, that's so cute. Can I get a picture of you in your mask, Hummer? Sure. But they didn't realize that mask on the Hummer did just as much good as a cloth mask that we were required to wear. I was in the military. We took NBC training. We used real protective masks. The fire department, we wear real CBAs that have an air tank and seal properly. That was the only thing that was going to get you from a bug that you had a 99% survivability rate. So, and I talk about this stuff because this, you got to remember, Josh Shapiro had his hands all over it, and he's coming up for re-election, and then he's going to be gunning for president. You watch. You remember this conversation. He's going to get reelected. He wants to be reelected for governor. That will springboard him into position for a run for president on the Democrat side. He already showed his cards. He was on the short list, but he's smarter than he looks, considering he was like, man, I'm not going down with this Harris ship. No way. And look what they got. They got Tampon Timmy. But that's about it I got for this Sunday afternoon. Stop by my Facebook page and please vote on changing our time. It looks like we're going to bump it to 7 o'clock. The 7 o'clock votes are really taking over. We only had one 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I know this is tough. Let's see, the hospitals down here in Maryland allowed homemade masks for entrance into the facility. Right. And no, Jim, you're right. And the problem is that's nothing but a petri dish. When was the last time it was washed? When was the last time it was sanitized? When was the last time you dropped it on the floor or it fell on the floor of your vehicle? You know, you're just putting on a damp, yucky mask. It's a petri dish. So that's why we put a mask on the Hummer, because people thought, oh, that's so nice. People, it's a slap in your face because it's stupid, and it's just as stupid as the mask. And there's still people, and it's funny. Look at people at all the riots. Mostly they all wear masks, and it's not because of the bug, because they're trying to hide who they are. And we're gonna bring it in for a landing. Thanks for all coming on this Sunday, kind of hot day. I appreciate that. Go outside, enjoy the sunshine. We only have 3 days of it this year, it seems like. I appreciate you all coming out. And Tim, don't even talk to me about this. I know Tim had a business in COVID. I won't put your business out there, but you had a business, it failed because of COVID. We get it. 40%. You were part of that 40% of the businesses in Erie County failed. And that was from the hot shots at Penn State Barron, not Brian's skewed numbers like the Erie City Council clowns like to say. Outro video, please, Mrs. Shank.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA! From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining seas, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out on this nice, kind of warm Sunday afternoon. A special thank you to, of course, my lovely, lovely wife for putting all the videos together, editing them up, putting them together, keeping me on track, making sure that I don't screw up live. I couldn't do the show without her. I really couldn't, and I appreciate everything she does. Thank you all. Go outside, get some sun, drink plenty of water because it's a little humid out there. And we will see you Wednesday night at 8 p.m. As we always say, Shank out.